today's agenda would be we would be talking and having an understanding about what exactly is GRC Archer. Then we will be actually going to the tool and taking a look at how exactly Archer tool looks like, what are the capabilities of the tool. Then we will also talk about importance of learning GRC tool, that why even though you are not from a technical background or do not have a technical expertise, but as long as you are transitioning to cybersecurity GRC, or you wish to transition to cybersecurity GRC, how this tool could be useful and what are the capabilities which will lead you to a successful career path. And lastly, we will discuss about the career opportunities. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's begin our session. To begin with a very basic and general information about what exactly is GRC Archer. So, as you all must be aware that governance, risk management, and compliance is one of the core pillars in cybersecurity, where all three frameworks are compiled together and a framework of GRC is established. And this is one of the most crucial pillars for any business or any organization to achieve positive outcomes and have a positive growth in their organization. And as we know that we are in a technological era and people are moving more and more towards automation. People are moving more and more towards making their task, making their activities automated or to be done by a tool or a software. And that's where the incorporation of our tools like Archer IRM came into existence, that all of the GRC practice, what happens across the business lines in different big scale enterprises, they have started automating their GRC processes, GRC work, their GRC modules. And that's where Archer IRM can be primarily useful. So Archer IRM is an automation tool that assists in business in automating their risk, compliance, governance program. And as we just know that looking at the amount of financial corporate frauds, data thefts, there is very, very high demand to achieve corporate governance, specifically in the GRC area. So risk management, again, with new technologies like AI coming into picture, threats possessing to AI, plus all the corporate frauds, data protection, there are various kinds of risk which is associated in every organization, and that trend is increasing. So we clearly understand that how important risk management and strong governance is. And that's where Archer IRM as a tool can be very useful, because it's a complete GRC automation tool. So some more information about Archer IRM. Archer IRM is a software that basically provides common foundation for handling risk assessments, deficiencies, creating controls, handling IT risk management, handling policies throughout the business lines. So we can say that majority of the GRC modules or GRC use cases can be handled through Archer IRM. Archer IRM is capable to handle majority of the use cases with regards to GRC framework. Let's move on to the next activity, which is mainly to overview and understand capabilities of Archer as a tool. So this is how the home page of Archer looks like. So basically, we also term this as Archer landing page, um, where basically all the activities what a user has done in last 24 to 48 hours is visible. Along with it, uh, the tasks which are in their queue is visible to us. So basically, this is the home page. Now let's take a look at a couple of the administration uh, configurations what Archer has, and then we can talk about few of them, one after the other. So to begin with access control, Archer has got the ability to create users within it. Archer has got ability to define roles for individual users. So what happens is, for every use case there is a specific permission or a role associated. Right now we can allot create rights, we can allot delete rights, we can allot update rights, we can allot read rights. to individual users based on the access roles what we have. So access role is something which is very crucial and very important for any user in Archer. And based on that role, each user will have specific permissions in Archer, right? For example, people are working in three different domains like audit, risk, or issue. So it is very much possible that few users will have higher privileges in audit, who are mainly working as audit managers or audit consultants. Few people who are working as risk consultants would have higher privileges and accesses on risk modules, and likewise for issues. So we can completely customize roles in Archer, and we will even look at how an access role is created shortly. So I'll give an overview. Uh, Meanwhile, I'll just complete this. So this is about the access role, which is one of the most important pillars for defining permissions in Archer. Then we have security parameters. So security parameters is solely based on the password protection and authorization in Archer. So depending on how your password should be, what should be the length of the password, how should an alphanumeric character or digits or numbers, approximately how many of them should be present in a password, is all configured and defined here. Plus we can even define the logout login limits per user to Archer. We can even define what instance of time a user can log in or log out from Archer, what time a system would automatically log off a user from Archer. So all the properties associated to authorization, validation, your login, password protection is covered up in security parameters. And then we have groups, where in groups we categorize, as I was talking about audit, risk, and issues, right? We can categorize users in different categories who have more or less the same activity to perform, because it is very much possible that in a system there would be bunch of risk consultants. It's not that just one person would be a risk consultant in the whole organization. So all those people who have similar kind of privileges or similar kind of duties to perform in Archer, we can club them and we can create a group for each of these stakeholders and each of these users. And then we can club access role and group together. That's how their basic or primary access in Archer would be configured. And then lastly, we have certain access roles in Archer, which is, sorry, access control reports in Archer, which primarily helps us to get data from a strict compliance perspective, meaning how many users are present, what are their individual roles and accesses. You can completely extract that in form of an Excel file, in form of a CSV file. Then you can even see a report where we get to know that how many users have tried to attempt in Archer in a wrong way, how many users have been added into Archer, for which users a group has been granted, etc. Right? We can customize and check each of these activities and access control reports. So let me quickly show you one of the access roles, where if we click on the access role, we have a couple, like let's say this is an example where I have the ability to provide CRUD permissions on different Archer applications. Like if I were to pick any risk application, I can simply choose risk assessment, right? So under risk assessment, I can give CRUD permissions, and this row access role, I can tag it to a user profile. So that particular user will get access to risk assessments in Archer. So several other functionalities in Archer of creating reports, doing data import, right? We'll talk about each of them as a quick overview gradually. So each one of them has got an ability to get the accesses from access role. So this is how an access role in Archer is configured. And then moving on to security parameters, we have a security parameter where all the password protection length, their changing interval, previous password disallowed, grace login, all of these properties are configured. So according to the category of user, whether we are talking about a real-time user or we are talking about any system user, right, who have some services to follow in Archer, like maybe Windows user or a SQL user may have some purpose to work in the tool. For them, the parameter differs, and accordingly, we can have their password protection and authorization properties and policies. And then we have access control report, where I can customize and check this report by checking access control rights per individual user, that what privileges and right an individual user has on which applications could be checked up like this. So if I click on any of them, it gives me a message that system admin has full rights on all the pages. Then similarly, if I choose any random user who is not a system admin, then I get to see what rights an individual user has throughout the platform. So this is where my access control rights would be applicable, and I can customize this for every user and I can get the information in this way. And similarly, there are a bunch of other reports available which is individually used for different roles, different security events which happen, different security parameters, and we can completely customize. Uh, customize meaning we can just give different inputs on each of these and extract it according to our needs. This is what primarily happens in access control area. So let's move on to the reporting area of Archer, where I will show you how we can create global reports and personal reports in Archer, which is again one of the very widely used functionality in Archer. So if I were to pick an application named risk assessments, I would primarily see reports what is existing. So in report, what happens is I get the list of fields what I have available in Archer. So based on risk assessments, I have certain fields like approved date, I have criticality, okay, I have description, I have devices, I have got overall status, I've got submit date, I've got the title, etc. So all I have to do is I have to add each of these fields here in the reporting segment. I have to hit on search, and then based on that I'll get the output. And this output, I can extract this in form of an Excel file, I can extract in form of a CSV file, PDF, Word, etc. Depending on whichever way I want to extract. So simply if I click on an Excel file, I exclude it. I'll be able to simply download the report directly over here in my normal machine. So is it as simple as just adding up the fields and searching for the report. Then even I can customize and have some filters in a report, that if I just want records which are created in, you know, uh, previous day or maybe just before couple of days, I don't want the whole list of records. So even I can do that, where I just have to do a configuration check based on the date, and I can just say created in last 15 days. So I'll get the extract of the records, only the records which were created in last 15 days. Right, so there is only one record which was created in last 15 days. So likewise, you can have as many criteria as you want in these filters. So assuming we have thousands and thousands of records in the system, where we really do not need all of them in the system, or we probably not need all of them in the report. So likewise, you can have this filters in place where I can actually customize, and I can only see the output what I'm looking for. So you can have appropriate criteria in a report, and likewise you will get the output. And if it's a repetitive activity, you can always save this, and this will lead you to ask whether you want to create a personalized report for yourself, or you want to create a global report which may be used by the whole organization or the whole any respective department, like a risk department or audit department or so. So you can create reports like this. Then I'll also show you how we can have different graphs in Archer. So I'll just enable the statistic mode, and based on statistics mode, I will just show you how a graph can be created. So likewise, I can uh, get the graph as well of the records I have in system, which will show me how many of them are submitted, how many of them are rejected, how many of them are approved, etc. I can have vertical bars, I can have horizontal bars, I can have pie chart, bar graph as well. So I can completely customize different kinds of filters what I need for a report, and have different reports with different criterias, different graphs, and share it with business users or any respective teams who is working on risk, and similarly other modules as well. So this is about reports. Now let's talk about the workspaces and iViews. So dashboard, right? So this is the whole workspace. Within the workspace, I have got different iViews, that if an audit manager opens up Archer, probably he would like to see couple of pending items on his side. So he gets an iView stating that audit plans which are awaiting his review, or audit plan status which are in draft mode, which need certain action from him. So we can, as we just saw the report, right, we can customize that report and have it placed in iViews, and the moment a respective audit manager logs in, individually he will see which plans are awaiting his action, which plans are in draft mode, which plans are completed, closed, etc., etc. Right? You can customize whichever way you may want. Then I can even get audit engagements by statuses. I can have some reports based on the expenses. Then I can have different entities according to statuses. So I can, the point here is I can completely customize my particular workspace, okay, in this way, and that too for different stakeholders. So this is for an audit manager. Similarly, I have for audit executive too. That audit executive may see something else compared to what an audit manager sees. So you can have it this way for an audit executive. Similarly, for an audit team, you can have it in this way, right? So depending on different stakeholders, different roles, you can create all of these in Archer. Right. So this is again one of the very important aspects which has to deal with workspace, dashboards, and iViews. Then in Archer, we can even create and build up applications. Like we have so many different applications for issues, ORM, right? Top down, bottom up, top down, loss events, issues management, applications which is necessary for BIAs, crisis management, right? I've got bunch and bunches of applications for a use case. So Archer has the ability to create complete applications from scratch. Like you can completely customize an application, or whatever is available in the system when you purchase the tool for the very first time, you can even use that and customize that. So there are majority of the use cases what GRC as a framework supports are available in Archer. So Archer has got a wide range of use cases with them, which are according to the industry best practices. And as a tool, Archer gives you that flexibility to completely customize and completely change or redevelop something from scratch according to how you want. So everything is possible on the backend to configure it, to customize it, to change it, etc. On the backend in different applications of different use cases. That is again one of the important features what we have. Then again, important features, what in terms of feature, what we have is notification. Because if you see, it is very important for any stakeholder to get the updates what is happening on the Archer side. So assuming that we are doing a risk assessment, so it is very much possible that there would be a risk manager who would be present and there would be a risk analyst who would be present. So while doing the assessment, the risk analyst completes his assessment and he submits the record, and then manager has to either approve it or reject it. So these notifications in Archer are created in such a way that at every step, if somebody approves it, then respective stakeholders receive an automated notification stating that so and so risk assessment record has been approved, so and so risk assessment record has been rejected, etc. So likewise, we can have reminder notifications in Archer, where if somebody who has not done assessment since a month and due date has already passed, so even escalation notification, reminder notifications are possible to be created in Archer. You can send notifications timely as reminders, escalations, and then once status is changed, approval happens, rejection happens, at every step you can customize and create notifications as well in Archer for the users to be aware. So that is about notification. This is about application building. This is about access control. And then we even have workflows associated. So as an example, I'll show you a quick one for an audit plan where I know how an audit plan completely moves from scratch all the way till its approval. So what exactly should be the workflow for an audit plan? So in this advanced workflow feature of Archer, we can go ahead and create the workflow that who should be the initial stakeholder who should be creating an audit plan all the way till its approval or closure. So we even have the ability to move the record in step by step process all the way till its completion, where things which used to happen manually or just with exchange of information, system will completely do it with the help of these workflow, and everything will be taken care by the system in terms of changing the value, sending notifications, okay, requesting the users to log in Archer and do their approvals or rejections or sign off. Okay, everything can be customized in this feature of Archer, which is advanced workflow. Right. So these are, um, I think, primary features what we have in the tool. Apart from that, we have even the integration area where I can bulk upload an external data into the tool. Where let's say you have thousands of records and you want to upload that into Archer, you can do that with the help of data import, data feeds, and then you can even send Archer's data to an external tool or external drive or external location through this integration uh, methods, which is within the data feeds and imports. Right. So these are, I think, an overview about what are the capabilities and functionalities what we have in Archer. So as a tool, it's highly customizable, and depending on your requirement and depending on what is expected, you can build completely things from scratch, as well as you can do modifications from what is existing. So now let's discuss about why one should learn Archer. So I'll just open up a few of the important points what we have, that why we should learn Archer. So I've seen a lot of people complaining that we are not from a tech background, and why is this tool important, why we need to learn, we are not Archer administrators. So few of the reasons is, now we do know that people are moving from Excel sheets and manual work to tools, and Archer being one of the most widely used tool in the GRC area, where they have over 1500 plus customer base, plus majority of Fortune 500 companies are using Archer as their GRC tool. So it gives you a very good idea about the tool, about the functionalities of the tool, about the capabilities of the tool, that what this tool is capable of doing. Like many of you had questions regarding that, whether we can import this into Archer, whether we can customize this, whether we can do updates, whether I can modify the functionalities configuration, right? So if you know the tool, if you know the functionalities and capability of this tool, you will be easily able to do your functional work in a much easier way. That will lessen the gap between the technical experts and the functional experts, who are the primary stakeholders for this tool, right? So that is again one of the very good reason that why, if you are in the GRC domain, looking at the market, looking at the needs of GRC tool, GRC automation, and how as an area GRC is evolving, this tool will really help you to boost up your career uh, in terms of your GRC. So another reasons are understanding the technological risk. As we know that GRC professional with technical skills are getting better and better in terms of grasping at IT systems, infrastructures. This understanding of the tool will enable you to develop more effective controls, more effective risk based approaches, and try to mitigate in a best possible way. Because if you know the tool, you will exactly know that how and where should I incorporate this risk, how can I handle my controls, how can I classify my controls, how can I build up my controls, right? Once you know the tool, you'll be able to do all of these in a very easier and effective manner. And then we know that GRC professional with good technical and functional expertise are always at the top of a priority in corporates and in organization. Because if you look at majority of the big scale enterprises, nobody would be doing their work in Excel sheets and sending emails, and that's a major data breach. As well as gone are those days where people used to spend hours and hours on doing assessments on Excel and all, right? So if you come with an expertise on tool, people will be more than happy to have you in their team as an functional consultant or as a GRC consultant having techno functional skill set, right? And at the end of the day, you will be able to be more productive and effective in doing vulnerability assessments, risk assessments, okay, security controls, ensuring compliance, have sufficient auditing, etc. So all of these is also a part of regulatory requirements, which we see increasing every every coming year, every coming quarter, right? We see more and more regulatory and compliance needs coming across the globe from different regions, and very important nowadays to be very strict with the compliance norms. You will be better able to understand the risk management strategies, right from, let's assume, analyzing the risk all the way till preventing the risk. That how in Archer you can create risk plans, you can create risk mitigation strategies, you can create risk acceptance strategies, you can have certain set of questionnaires which is helpful to categorize a risk as high, medium, low, right? So several aspects regarding the risk management strategies will also be familiar to you once you know the capabilities and functionalities. You will be better able to collaborate with the development core development teams as well as technical teams within your organization, because as a tool you will have a lot many technical acumen as well, uh, which is needed in order to work effectively in Archer. That if you know that Archer is capable to create certain reports in this way, Archer is able to automate certain reports which you want in your day-to-day activities, if Archer is able to send these kinds of notifications or not. Once you know each of these, you get more and more familiar with your functional aspect, and you can convert that into technical requirements, and that suffices the whole purposes of the organization, of the deliverables. So you can streamline activities, you can automate processes, you can have proper compliance management, you can have proper the bridge between technical and business stakeholders. So these are several importance. And then we all know that we do not work just on one single tool when we are in GRC. We have to learn several tools as well, which may or may not be completely related to GRC, but there is always an integration or there is always a relationship associated. So when you know the integration capabilities of tools, you will be easily able to have a differentiator that, okay, these are the integration capabilities. If I want to integrate something with Archer or any other tool like Workiva, or let's say QRadar, if you are on the sim side or so, then you know that how integration could be done. Once you know it, of course your functional aspect and your requirements will get much more easier, and you will be successfully able to deliver the requirements. And even for the managers who are managing GRC practices, even for them, if you see in the market, Archer has got a huge customer base and a huge range. If you know the tool, you will definitely be able to serve your clients in a much effective way. You'll be able to manage teams in a much effective way, because you will literally know how the tool is and what are the capabilities of the tool. So these are some of the crucial or important aspects what I have figured out. When you have technical expertise on tools, these are some of the advantage that brings you to your table and to your professional career. And with that, I'll just quickly show you some of the career opportunities what we have. um, if you see on LinkedIn, on Google, or if you even search on LinkedIn a bit about Archer has got one of the highest market capitalization in terms of GRC, because that's the most standalone GRC tool in the market. There are other tools as well in market, but Archer is a standalone GRC tool with one of the most advanced functionalities one can think of from a GRC perspective. It is widely used in Middle Eastern region, Asia Pacific, North America, followed by Europe. If we talk about Indian market, you will see all the big fours using Archer immensely. Indian IT services company, our BFSI sector, specifically with the RBI making stringent laws for compliance and governance, majority of PSU banks are using Archer in their day-to-day GRC practices. Half of Fortune 500 and 90% of Fortune 100 companies have Archer on their side. So there is a huge demand of Archer consultants around. And as we all know how important GRC as a pillar is, so it is likely that opportunities for GRC consultants having technical and functional expertise will likely grow by 3x by upcoming years, by 2025 or so. And the interesting part is, to learn Archer itself as a tool, here there is no coding involved. You may think of that I don't have a technical expertise, or I don't have a technical background, I do not come from a technical expertise area. You do not need any prior background in coding, or have any technical knowledge, or have any background on risk or audit as well, because this is the technical differentiator of what Archer has. All of these functionalities what we were talking about, reports, applications, okay, having these questions uploaded, right, they're done without coding. They are all inbuilt functionalities. It's just we should know how to use it. Once you know how to use it, you will be easily able to leverage the technical capabilities of the tool. So this is about Archer in terms of career opportunities.